Welcome to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, one of the fastest growing movie podcasts in the world,
where we discuss all things film.
In this episode, we react to the Oscars 2022. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this special episode. Anthony here.
And James here. And we all woke up this morning, and last night actually did happen. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen at an award show, with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock in the face. Now we're going to do our Oscar reaction, but make sure to also tune into our latest episode that we posted today on the best comedies of the 21st century. It is a lot of fun, so tune into that after or before this episode.
You can have a Raiders double feature.
Heck yeah. Jaw-dropping, shocking. Everyone, we did a Discord watch party with our $10 and $25 tier patrons. We all thought it was a joke, and even people's reactions in the Oscars, like sitting and like tweeting, they thought it was a joke or a bit at the time. And then they realized that, like, oh, Will Smith's actually screaming at Chris Rock from the stand. So what happened was Chris Rock made the joke about Jada, and then Will Smith got up after looking at Jada's reaction and then slapped the hell out of Chris Rock, who was definitely not expecting it because he was just laughing and then like had his hands behind his back.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Will was going to do it. Then he slapped the hell out of him, pivot and everything. Like the torque he had was legit.
It was a real strike.
Yeah, and wow, Chris Rock can take a slap. I mean, like,
and he just laughed it off and even said, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Yeah. Like, so, he's great.
Chris Rock's a great comedian, but I mean, did he go too far? Did Will Smith go too far? It's still processing the whole situation. I mean, I don't ever condone violence outside of self-defense, so I don't know if I would condone him doing that. He obviously probably wishes he could take it back because, you know, like we were talking about on our chat last night, this is probably going to be remembered more than him winning the Oscar.
It's Will Smith's, the pinnacle of his career. It's his greatest achievement in a 30-year career of just great work and being an icon of film history. He will go down as a legend, but this moment, the greatest achievement of his life, everything he worked towards, you know, he's been snubbed a few times, and then to finally have the right performance in the right year, and you win the Oscar, but It was just sad. His Oscar speech was very sad because he ended his speech by apologizing to the Academy. Like, you don't, like, that's the last thing you would ever want to hear in an Oscar speech. When in the greatest achievement of your career as a professional, you end up apologizing for something you did, and it was just. First of all, it was great watching the show with all of our fans on Discord. That was a lot of fun. Everyone who tuned in, we loved having you there, and it was just a blast watching the entire show with you all. Super, super fun. But like James said, we all thought it was kind of a joke at first. I was like, oh, it must be staged. But then when we saw the Australian the Australian version of the broadcast, and it showed Will Smith in the audience harassing Chris after he hit him, yelling at him, saying he was shouting, "Keep my wife's mouth out your effing."
Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth.
Yeah, and then you saw that's when things like really took the turn of like, oh, this is a really serious situation. Like, this is legit, and that's when the tides turned, and it was completely obviously a very emotional reaction by Will. You can understand what happened with him, why he did what he did.
His motivation.
Yeah. Obviously, it was not the right way to address that situation, especially on that night, on the biggest stage of Hollywood. And then it was just a sad turn of events. At first, I was like, I can't believe he did that, like, so unprofessional. But then it was like, now I just feel bad. Like, this is gonna be a part of his legacy.
And not just that. I mean, it took away from every award last night in a way. You know, this morning and last night, all anyone can talk about on Twitter, on Instagram, on anything is the slap, you know, rather than all these great artists who won, these great actresses who won, actors, and then all the production teams and everything who won their awards deservedly so. And even Coda winning Best Picture was great, but it still like kind of fell flat because Questlove winning for Soul of Summer. I mean, Summer of Soul. Like, all these awards are kind of just took a backseat to the incident. It's really unfortunate, but I mean, it happened. It's crazy. One of the craziest things I've ever seen on live TV.
Yeah, it's the only act of violence ever carried out during the Academy Awards in 100 years.
When was the first act?
No, the only.
Oh, the only.
Yeah.
I thought you never mind.
I think that it's not.
It's only 94.
Yeah, I think it's not just the joke, but also they have a history because when Chris Rock hosted the Oscars in 2016, he bashed Jada Pinkett Smith real hard because she started the boycott of Oscars So White boycott that year because Will wasn't nominated for Concussion, and then Chris Rock in his opening monologue tore her apart, and he said that it's a great joke. He said, Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. We weren't invited. None of it. We weren't invited. So, and then it was like a minute of like he tore apart Jada, and then he said something about Will as well. And so I think that, and I'm sure there might be other behind the scenes drama between all of them. There could have been a lot building up to this moment of Will just emotionally snapping for a moment.
I think so too, and maybe because that was the second joke of the night on Jada, because the first joke was by
I missed the first one.
It was the first joke was making fun of obviously their like relationship like status.
Oh, the entanglement thing.
Yeah, the entanglement stuff that happened earlier on by one of the hosts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Regina.
didn't hear
I think
that.
it was Regina Hall did a bit on her, and obviously that. You know, they probably didn't want that. And then the second joke, I'm sure that Will's just like, all right, that's enough. Or I don't know.
Wow, I didn't catch that first.
We don't know
one.
what was going through everyone's minds. We don't understand what Will's feeling. We don't understand what Jada's feeling. We can only just watch and interpret for the best we can as respectfully as possible. But that was wild, insane. Unfortunately, you know, it will have it kind of mars the entire award ceremony, and it was a very mediocre, lukewarm show. But man, that spiced things up. And
yeah, up to that point, we were just like, I had more fun just chatting with everyone in the Discord than I was watching
we're all on
the show.
Twitter researching. Like, what happened? What happened?
No, I meant before. Before that.
Before, the chat was fun.
I meant that it was like way more fun just hanging out with our friends.
Yeah,
before
it was a good
that
time.
even happened.
And then I expect the ratings to be super high next year for the first like 20 minutes. Then they're gonna fall off a cliff.
It's like Jerry Springer kind of.
Yeah, I don't think the Academy's happy. I'm sure they didn't want.
There's no way they are.
But
also they milked it, like because when Will was giving his speech, like they let him speak for 5 minutes first of all, and then like the camera was doing like a slow zoom on him crying, and it's like they were milking that moment. You could tell. So
yeah,
it's
probably
kind of tone deaf.
The craziest thing was because it happened halfway through the show. Then we're all like, "What if he wins Best Actor? He's got to win Best Actor." Are they gonna like change it and like in back, take it out of the envelope and switch it out with like cross it out and like write Andrew Garfield or something? Like, what's gonna happen? What's his speech gonna be like when he wins? It's nuts. But it was wild.
But otherwise, so
yeah, let's move into
that's
the rest
out
of
of the way. It was a really great set of award winners because it was a pretty eclectic group of winnings because Dune picked up a lot of technical categories like we all predicted, but then also it was pretty widespread for other films. So, like for example, Eyes of Tammy Faye, I was not expecting to win makeup and hairstyling, and it won. I was expecting Cruella to win or another film, and also Jessica Chastain won for the Eyes of Tammy Faye as well, which I think she was very much an underdog. I think that there were a couple actresses that were favored over her, so her winning was a big surprise. Obviously, Coda winning Best Picture was a big surprise. You called it, though.
I called it.
You called it.
There's tweets to prove it.
I was pleasantly surprised that Kenneth Branagh won Best Original Screenplay for Belfast. That's who I wanted to win.
I'm so glad he won an Oscar because that guy's done so much work in the film and TV industry, but also in theater. So like to finally win the Pinnacle of Film Award with the screenplay, like congratulations to him. He's been a legendary filmmaker for decades. You know, a lot of work,
and he's just a terrific filmmaker. And that was one of my favorite movies last year. It was extremely powerful and it's a really great script. I'm glad he won for that. And then Encanto winning Best Feature Film for Animated Feature, well deserved. I think that was most people's favorite film last year for animated films. And then also Cruella won Best Costume Design, which we called and we picked Cruella for our Oscar in our Raiders of the Lost Oscars episode. So I like how it was a lot of variety in terms of films winning. Dune obviously picked up a lot of awards because it was such a masterful production, including Greg Fraser winning Best Cinematography, which was very well deserved, which we think that was by far, in a way, the easiest guest pick for an Oscar, I think, this year.
Also, Dune won Best Editing
by
best
Joe Walker.
Best Score for Hans Zimmer,
Yeah, our boy Hans.
Best Sound, which is the sound mixing and sound design, pushed into one category now. Best Visual Effects, and Patrice Vermette won for Best Production Design, which we talked about in the episode on Dune, how we really wanted him to win that because it's much deserved. The other actors and actresses who won Oscars include Ariana DeBose, who won for The West Side Story. I think she was the best performance in that movie in general, so I think that was a much deserved award. She was really great. Then also Troy Kotsur, who was the supporting actor performance in Coda. An incredible performance.
Great job.
That movie, again, if you guys haven't seen Coda, it's on Apple TV. I'm sure you have those websites. If you don't have Apple TV where you can watch it, it was the best movie at Sundance, and the performances are incredible. I mean,
He's a scene stealer.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
He plays the father, and then Marlee Matlin plays the mother, and she's an Oscar winner too. So he's the first deaf male actor to win Best Actor or an Academy Award in general, I believe.
Yeah, and then so Jessica Chastain for Eyes of Tammy Faye, and then Will Smith, obviously, for King Richard. And I was really, like, I love Hans Zimmer, but the fact that, like, it was so cool that the reason why he wasn't there, he's on tour with his show. He's touring the world performing his music.
He's playing guitar, bro.
Yeah, he's playing guitar in arenas and just enjoying music with his fans. I thought
he's got other things to do.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool that, like, he didn't, like, I'm sure plenty of people would have, but he didn't change the schedule of his tour to make sure he was at the Oscars because, like, I want to win the Oscar and be there to accept it. Like, he's like, you know what's my priority? Enjoying my music with my fellow musicians, and then playing in front of my fans and just enjoying what I do more than anything, as opposed to making sure I'm at an award show to maybe win an award. I thought it was like, I liked him even more after finding out that he was, like, asleep in his hotel room in Amsterdam after performing all night at one of his concerts, and then his daughter woke him up to tell him he won.
And he didn't even, like, send a video. He's just in a bathrobe with the Oscar. It's amazing.
And he didn't send a video, and he just posted. Someone filmed him thanking his fellow musicians, all of his bandmates, and I was like, that was, like, such a very modest guy to be like, I'm just gonna do what I do. Screw the Oscars. I'm happy I won, but, like, I'm not gonna change my schedule.
The Oscars.
I know, you know what I mean. Though. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I'm in Amsterdam.
He has more important. What's more important to him is playing
for 50,000 people.
I think that's so cool.
It's pretty dope. Other awards: Best Animated Feature was Encanto. I think we said that. Best Short Film was The Windshield Wiper, and that's the one that Riz Ahmed won, right?
No, he won for the long Goodbye.
The best short documentary.
Yeah.
All right. So The Long Goodbye won best. Oh yeah, best live action short. Oh, I'm sorry. So. Best Short Film Animated was The Windshield Wiper.
Yeah.
You did win Best Short Film Live Action, The Long Goodbye. So that's Riz Ahmed's film. Really cool that he won that award. What else have we not talked about?
Well, I wanted to talk about the pre-recording, because Riz Ahmed, as well as the other short film categories, as well as some of the technical categories, Hans Zimmer included for Best Score, the awards were given out while the red carpet was going on. And so that's why it kind of looked a little jarring where they would just announce the winner immediately, and then it would cut to the person on stage, because it didn't show those people, like, walking through the crowd and getting up stage to accept their Oscar, because it was recorded during the red carpet, so the audience wasn't really that full except for, like, the back rows of people who don't walk the red carpet. And so I think I'm not happy that, like, these people had to accept their awards in front of a mostly empty auditorium.
I'm sure just the first few, but a couple of them, the auditorium seemed to be full
by then. But they were doing it for an hour. So but like you said, you read on Twitter that Riz Ahmed accepted his to an empty arena, an empty theater. And Jessica Chastain, she arrived before every other prominent actor or filmmaker, and did the red carpet before anyone, so that she could get into the auditorium to pay her respect, to watch everyone win their awards while everyone else was showing up, fashionably late and to the red carpet. So kudos to Jessica Chastain. I think she's a stand-up person, and I'm actually very happy she won, because she's one of my favorite actors, and she's been nominated several times, and I think she was like, it was her time to win for sure. I still think her performance in Zero Dark 30 is just one of the best in the last 10 years. Yeah. She's incredible in that movie. And we also, what else did we miss out on? So the Pulp Fiction reunion was one of my favorite moments of the night. It was really great. Sam Jackson walks out with the briefcase, and then Uma Thurman and John Travolta are doing the twist beside him. I'm like, there better be a light bulb in the briefcase. And then he opened it. Yeah. So there was actually some cool stuff that was my favorite show moment to have some fun. Jane Campion won Best Director
actor, so it's the first time second time she's been nominated. She was also nominated for the piano, so congratulations for winning for her film The Power of the Dog. Let's see what else did we miss out in.
So the three hosts, the first time we had three hosts, I think they did a decent job, but I just think the humor was, first of all, it was pretty safe and pretty tame, but also it was a little strange, the humor. Like they groped like Josh Brolin's like ass and like
in Momoa's.
Yeah, and
that was kind of weird. And what's going on right now?
There was like this weird trend of objectifying men because that happened, and then Regina Hall called all like the sexy stars up to say that she wanted to like have a gangbang with them, and then
weird.
and then Amy Schumer took Kirsten Dunst out of her seat to hit on Jesse Plemons. So it was like this weird humor of like approaching men in an objectifying way. I found that very strange. The kind of humor they were approaching it with, and I don't think most of it played at all very well. I think at times it was kind of awkward, the humor.
I would say that of the three of them, Wanda Sykes is probably the best.
Yeah,
I think she could have just hosted by herself.
I would have been fine with Wanda
she's a
hosting
great
by herself.
comedian.
Yeah.
I like her specials. She's a lot of fun.
But for her and Amy Schumer, who are traditionally very raunchy comedians, like they're super raunchy comedians, and they were just very tame. And it felt like it was very safe humor.
Yeah, it was pretty safe, I guess. But that's usually what it is. Ever since Chris Rock hosted in 2016. And then, the final award I don't think we talked about was Drive My Car, winning Best International Feature from Japan. So congratulations to that. And I think that's every award that we talked about so far, right? Oh, the Best Documentary Short, The Queen of Basketball, that one. And then Best Original Song was the Billie Eilish song.
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die song.
Great performance, too. They did a good job. And then Beyonce, I think it was smart for the Oscars to open with Beyonce. You have one of the biggest stars alive, and just open with her performance. They had never done an opening musical number before, so I thought it was smart of them to do that.
Although it was pre-recorded, so I don't think they've ever done that either.
Yeah, it's both firsts. But I think it was a smart way to start the Oscars with Beyonce.
Oh yeah, obviously it's Beyonce. Yeah. It's Queen Bee. Everyone loves her. And then we talked about Summer of Soul winning for Best Documentary Feature. Mm-hmm. And that's all the awards, I believe.
That's all of them, yeah.
Are you happy with Best Picture going to Coda?
Yeah, I loved Coda. It was one of my favorite movies, and I'm glad that like such a small movie won, because like we've said before, I was upset with it not getting a theatrical release because Apple just they had a tiny release theatrically to qualify.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you could only watch it on Apple. And so it never got that cultural phenomenon, word of mouth resonance that movies like Parasite got a couple years ago, and then like a movie like Slumdog Millionaire got, because it was such a small feature. And we saw it early before anyone else, and we were like, that movie is just so powerful, so incredible. So I'm glad that movie won. I was expecting Power of the Dog to win because it was winning all of the awards previous to the Oscars. And I like Power of the Dog, but I did not see it as an Oscar caliber film by far. Or I wouldn't
winning Best Picture.
I wouldn't even have nominated it for this year, because there were a lot of great movies that didn't even get nominated. So I'm really glad that Coda was the one who took the trophy at the end.
Yeah.
And it was very surprising. Like, you saw Sean, the director, she was so surprised and happy, and I was like, that was a great moment.
It really is an incredible movie. And yeah, we saw it at Sundance, and I'm telling you, like, you gotta watch it. It was very powerful. And like I said, I told Anthony this morning, like, I know Dune is just a pipe dream for winning Best Picture, and he's like, you're way too sad right now. But I'm happy.
You should just be like me, like, it's not gonna win. I wanted it to.
Well, when they won 5 of 6 Oscars, I'm like, you never know.
They all do that.
You never know.
All these great sci-fi films do that. They win technical awards.
But then Coda winning, I was like, told you, called it. I have the tweets to prove it.
I'm impressed. You called it,
dude. Come on, man. I knew when we saw it at Sundance, I'm like, that might be a Best Picture award winner.
It had all the makings of it. I just wish more people saw it. Maybe they will now, because Best Picture, that trophy does help boost the viewership of movies. But now we live in this time where it's not people renting a movie; they need to have Apple to watch it. So it might still prevent it from getting watched.
It probably will get watched more now, but unfortunately, it was like everyone's like, "What's Coda?" Never heard of this movie, but it was incredible. So watch it ASAP. All right, that's our Oscar reaction 2022. Hope you enjoyed the ceremony.
I'm looking at the camera,
show.
Even though we're not filming.
Yeah, me too. My head. We're just doing audio review. All of you who tuned into our Discord, that was so fun. Remember, our $10 and $25 tier patrons have access to our Discord. We do watch parties. We're gonna do Shrek We got voted as
Yeah.
the first movie to watch. We'll be doing that in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
thank you to Jacob for organizing it, and to Jacob and Dawson for helping us organize the whole
Yeah,
Discord.
because I still kind of don't know I think I know what a Discord is now.
I'm figuring it out now.
I'm figuring it out. It's like Slack with a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun. So we interact on that every day, so feel free to join. You'll get access to that on patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost Podcast. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Take care, everyone.
Raiders of the Lost Podcast is a mirror image production. Sound mixing done by Jacob Kossler. Opening music by Chase Jackson.